When it comes to self-coached athletes, one thing we see time and time again is this. Most of you completely suck at planning your own training routine, but it's not because of the reasons that you might think. Let's have a look. Over the last 5 years, I've worked with over 300 runners, and so many of these athletes have come to me after they've dipped their toes in the water of self-coaching. Now, on paper, a lot of these athletes even know exactly what they should be doing to prepare for the event that they're preparing for, but the problem is running is more than just a physical sport. It's also a mental and emotional sport. So sometimes there's a gap between what we know and our ability to implement those things. And with so many of the athletes that have come to me after attempts at self-coaching, I'm going to share 5 of the biggest mistakes they've shared with me about why it was they decided to put an end to their self-coaching career. Let's check them out. The first thing is this: they run too hard on easy days. As I just mentioned, running is not just a knowledge sport, it's also an emotional sport. And combining those two things can be very difficult, especially when we see a recovery day as an opportunity to potentially insert a little bit more pace, because in our minds we tell ourselves, surely this is an opportunity for us to improve. One thing that so many athletes let themselves down in this area of self-coaching is they've got no one to keep them accountable for the value of a recovery day. This is where that hard work is absorbed. It's where our strength is developed. It's where we refresh, switch off for a little while so that we come out to our races and more intense sessions ready to fire. The problem that we have when we're consistently looking at every recovery run as another opportunity to get an advantage of our opposition is we fall flat, we get niggles, we get injured, we start again. It's a really frustrating routine. We need an accountability partner. If you don't want a coach, or if you don't have a coach, find someone that you trust and explain to them what a recovery run should look like in terms of pace or in terms of heart rate, and then give them full access to that data so that on those days they can call you and go, hey, you said you were supposed to be running 7 minutes per K. Why does this say you were doing 458s? Having that accountability, someone to answer to, is a really good focus when you're out there feeling that desire to go harder. Use recovery for what they should be used for, as a launch pad towards faster, more effective, solid sessions and race days. The second thing is this: you have no structured plan, or even if you do have a structured plan, you don't follow it all that well. The beauty with a structured plan is it allows you to work backwards from your goal race and figure out, okay, if I've got a marathon in October, what should training look like in May? You're going to be able to figure out how many long runs you should be doing, how many easy runs, how much intensity, how much speed. If you're just going out and running to feel, it's really difficult to know where progress is going to be found, because naturally a 5K runner is going to be doing very different training to a marathon runner. And if you're not sure what it is that you're training for, how on earth do you know what to do on each and every day? So step 1, figure out what your race is. Step 2, work backwards from there to figure out what training should look like. Don't go out and just guess your way through it. The other thing that having no structured plan makes difficult is knowing when to say no. If you're just catching up for a group run with a number of friends from town and they decide to go hard, you've got nothing to make you say, no, I won't do it. The flip side of that is that when you should be going hard, sometimes we can use the fact we've got nothing to actually plan towards as the reason why we don't need to get it done. So figure out what it is you're training for, work backwards from there, and come up with a nice structure to make sure that you're fit and ready to fire on race day. Number 3, and a really nice direct correlation from number 2, is they run inconsistent mileage. When you don't know what you're training for, when you don't have a race day in mind, or when you're sort of just running to feel, some days you do 10K, some days you do 3K, some days you do a half marathon, and you're just kind of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. Running has a reputation for rewarding those who are most consistent. And one of the best ways to build consistency is through building strength. Now, strength is built when you continually layer upon layer upon layer that training, and you figure out what a nice, solid, and distance that you can maintain on a weekly basis to increase your strength is. The one thing you let yourself down in when it comes to building strength is running 10Ks one week and 100Ks the next week. In fact, I would say that the biggest cause of niggles and injuries amongst the athletes that I've worked with is exactly this. They'll run 100Ks one week, they'll get sick, injured, tired, fatigued, or a niggle, and we won't see them again for 6 months. Don't be that athlete. You are better off running 20 or 30 kilometers a week consistently for 12 weeks than you are going out and running 100 kilometers for a week and then not showing up again for 11 more weeks. Consistency is key to running success. That's consistency in showing up and consistency in the miles that you're laying down. Number 4 is we ignore any type of speed work. We often think whether we're running for our first 5Ks or our first marathon, surely I just have to go out and improve my aerobic fitness. True, but we've all seen that marathon shuffler, that athlete who's been so happy for the last 30 years to just go out and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle, and they can run forever. And you say sprint, and there's absolutely no speed change. Don't be that athlete. Not only is this top-end speed work really good for how you feel when you're out there running, it's also great for maintaining form and muscular strength and pliability. Now, depending on what it is you're training for is going to dictate how it is we inject speed into our week. But a really helpful way to do it is just 1 or 2 runs a week. Your easy runs, ideally, is inject 4 times 15 to 20 seconds at a top-end speed. Implement this into your training week and let me know how you feel in the comments below. I promise you, if you haven't done it for a while, sure, there might be like a little bit of soreness, but mentally, you're going to love it. And lucky last, number 5, skipping long runs. Now, it's true, whether you're a 5K runner or a marathon runner, the distance that you're going to run for your long run may change, but the importance of that long run remains the same. If there is one bang for buck that you can get out of your training week, it is the ability to consistently show up and work on that aerobic capacity, that cardiovascular fitness, that time on your feet. If you're not doing a long run or you're not doing a long run consistently, you are leaving so much on the table. If this is not a part of your training routine, figure out exactly how to do it, how far it should be based on the event that you're training for, and focus, as of today, on making this a weekly commitment. The truth is, some athletes love the flexibility of self-coaching. For me, I always needed that accountability. If you'd like to dip your toes in the water of what having a little bit of guidance or accountability feels like, we offer a free 30-day trial for every single athlete. If you'd like to take me up on that, hit the link below to take me up on that free 30-day trial. I'll send you the new athlete form to find out more about you, how it can help you, how it can structure that training more effectively for you. If you've got a couple of questions you'd like answered, hit us up in the comments below. But if you've been making the mistakes of some of the self-coached athletes that I've had the honor of eventually coaching, make sure you apply these to your training week as of now. It's going to see some incredible results. But for now, happy training. Hit the link below if you need any more help, and I'll see you back here again really soon.